part of their efforts to stay cutting edge, the Warriors, you know, that Silicon Valley super team, have consulted with UC Berkeley professor Dacher Keltner, a psychologist who published a study on how physical touch reflects communication, cooperation, and ultimately even performance in the NBA. Basically, the more butt flaps, the more baskets. We're hanging out with Dacher to try to figure out for ourselves if this is all just bullshit or if Golden State is really onto something.
We took one game of every team at the 2008-2009 season at the start, and we spent about 15-20 hours coding all acts of touch. High fives, fist bumps, shoulder. Some teams, like the Boston Celtics, touched each other a lot. Other teams, like the Sacramento Kings, didn't touch each other that much. What we found is the more they touched each other, holding constant all those processes, the better they play at the end of the season.
Can you reverse engineer that? Like, could you tell a team, like, if you guys start touching each other more, you'll get an extra 2 wins this season?
I think it's deeper than that.
Okay.
So I think the lesson of this paper is there are deeper processes that make for great teams, right? That then manifest in these very spontaneous, involuntary things.
I'm curious, we brought some examples of
oh no!
times during the season when the Warriors touched.
Sean Livingston, the huge dunk, but Andre Iguodala gives us the headbutt celebration.
What blew me away, I was on this panel with the Dalai Lama, and he was seeing who's his French translator. They got really low like Iguodala did, and they kind of rubbed the sides of their heads together, and it was this little sign, and that's what they do.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it's a sign of respect and affection. At the end, they do a little low hand slap.
They kind of like seal it with a
Right, they do, and that's really important. Before, what you saw is Draymond reach around and hold Durant's back. They weren't going like this. He wasn't yelling at him face to face. If I'm mad at you and I go right into you, that's different than if I hold you and we look at something side by side.
Oh, it's getting physical. Oh, it's getting physical.
This is back to the original point about touch, right? Which is that there wasn't a real punch thrown. No one threw it. And in baseball brawls, if we tallied it up, there's no comparison. You saw a lot of touch. There's a lot of physical contact that reins in the aggression. Right? These are huge guys. What strikes me about this, Hannah, is all the touch that turns that from a punch in the face, hurt somebody, get fined, get suspended, into just they're kind of jostling around as two competitive teams, which you want, right? One of the greatest primatologists, Frans de Waal, who studies non-human species, said, you know, you can look at this group tussling and you can look at it as really aggressive, or you can look at it for having a lot of cooperation in it. And what you saw in that was a lot of cooperation, really surprising, right? But aggressive and competitive, and these guys want to win. That one's really funny, where you're kind of like it's almost like a Morse code, like, here's what I need to hear you say. He's getting down and lower, which is like, this is really important, I gotta talk to you about this. So he's giving advice to one of the best players in the world. Do you think that would happen in a regular organization?
You know, this is sounding less like bullshit.